Okay. Okay, we'll start with the minutes of the last meeting. Everybody get those and take a look over them.
I'm not sure that I did.
They were in this meeting notice. There was a bunch
Yeah.
of pictures and
Okay.
the minutes were attached. They were after all the pictures. There
Okay.
were a lot of attachments.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote
them, so I can't make the motion.
anybody have any errors, omissions, or if they want to vote to approve the minutes?
I'll vote to make the motion to vote to approve.
Approve the minutes. Okay, got a motions made. Do we have a second?
Sure, even though I haven't seen them,
Okay,
I'm sure you're fine.
all right, motion's made second to approve the minutes of the last meeting. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Aye.
Ayes have it.
That was a.
Steve's here, but he's muted, it says.
Yeah. So that was Franco and Marjorie.
Yeah.
There was one thing before the minutes, Rick, that letter from the Norfolk County Registry of Deeds. Did you all get that letter at home?
Yes, I
Yeah.
don't understand
Yeah,
that.
so Steve brought up the Community Preservation Act stuff we know about. They basically, the other thing in the letter, they were asking us what to write to support an IT position for the, and I don't think we have any real, dog in that fight, is my opinion. I think if we were, doing something with their IT department, then that would be a different thing. Maybe if we had the Community Preservation Act and they were giving us, I don't know that we have to do anything with this letter other than know that if we were a Community Preservation Act town, we'd be getting 200 and something. We could get up to what's that number? $257,000 the town could get for preserving.
Yeah, I don't think they've been that active in that. I don't know. I could be wrong, but.
Is there any way that, I know this may be new business, but is there any way that we as a historical commission want to help move having a Community Preservation Act on a ballot?
Yeah, I think it's worth discussing. I don't know when, I think we have to know when the right time to do it is because it does raise people's taxes.
I've already been told it's not the right time, and
Yeah.
I don't think there'll ever be the right time,
I
but
mean, it's what is it? Is it like 1% or 2%?
you can be up to 3%, but you can also have it 1%.
Okay, yeah.
It just gives us a pocket of money that we can use for historical preservation, open space, or athletic fields and such. So it touches a whole bunch of different interests, but it makes it so when there is a property that comes up, we would have some money that we could use, as opposed to saying, no, there's no money, we can't do anything. So I would love to see something like that.
Well, for my part, I am somewhat against that because number one, raising the taxes. I don't know that, that there's a lot of value in it. We have it here in Franklin. And secondly, it comes with, some strings attached because there's federal money that gets rolled in with it. So, it's not entirely at the disposal of Bellingham. And then even if it were, I don't understand who are the responsible parties, for making decisions about the money.
You have to have a committee, Steve. You have to have a committee put together, and they're the ones that choose how the money gets distributed. It's one more committee in town, but it is all local residents that have to be on that committee. It's matching funds from the state. So anything we set aside, the state has matching funds, but the more towns that are in, the less you get.
It says right now there are 187 of the 351. So half of the cities and towns are doing it in Massachusetts. More than half. 19 out of 28 in Norfolk County have it. So 2 out of 3 in Norfolk County have it.
Medway, Franklin very recently.
Do we know what they're doing with the, maybe we should try to find out, like, what have they done with the money they received?
Medway has done a tremendous amount with the money.
Did they buy that, did they buy the, whatever that house is that they?
The Thayer House up,
That I'm not sure about the Thayer House, but I know there's other open space
Yeah,
that they have been able to purchase because they had it.
I mean, I think if someone's going to do this, you have to want to make the argument to town meeting. And I think you need a group of people that are willing to serve on the committee once the money is there too, because otherwise, you know, so I think it's a bigger, it's bigger than
I
just.
love you, bye.
Mhm. Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
It's just otherwise, we're passing up state money and.
is there a
we
time
will have-
limit that we have to
No,
do this?
no, you can apply for this any year. It
No.
goes from year to year.
No, it's been going on for a number of years and the richer towns have taken advantage of it.
Yeah.
And they got the biggest cut. And with each town that comes in, it's a smaller piece of the pie for everyone, but it does get divided equally among the towns that are participating.
Yeah.
So we're leaving money on the table.
Franklin is 400, it must be population based, because Franklin is 440,000, Medway's getting 186. That's the biggest one.
I think it matches what percent you collect.
Brookline gets 605,000 because they need it. Yeah.
They probably have 3%.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is a bigger discussion for, you know, that's.
I'm
Yeah.
just thinking that we've got an interest as the historical commission when we want to have people ask us, isn't anybody doing something? It
Or
would
when
give
someone
us-
sent that, say, would you like to join the committee to investigate and propose and
Right,
lobby or whatever the right word is, or, you know, to get a preservation act in the town, you know. So that's-
I've done a lot of reading about it.
Yeah, see, I can't say I'm familiar with this at all, so.
I mean, this letter was just notifying us about how much money we're eligible for if we were. And then the big part of it is they wanted a plea to fund their IT department was the second part of it, which I don't think that's, you know, we have no, it's not like we have any, like I said, any dog in that fight. So I think we can just let the letter lie for now.
But I mean, it's something that we shouldn't like just throw it out. We should
No,
talk about.
I'm definitely aware. I mean, we've been aware of the, last year when we got this letter, we talked a little bit about the Community
Yeah,
Preservation Act and, you know, there's just that was, is a pandemic a good time to ask people to raise their tax? I mean, there's never a good time to ask people to pay more taxes. No one is ever gonna like that. I think what you'd probably need is the timing of it, when something happens that people are like, oh my God, they're knocking down that building, then,
Mhm.
hey, this is the way to potentially prevent that.
It's
Or the-
raising taxes, but it's also all that money stays in the community.
Right,
It
Right.
doesn't get spent on anything except what is benefiting the community with matching funds
Right.
from the state. So.
Mm.
You
Yeah.
know.
I think the time to really make the argument is when something is happening that people are like, why are you letting that happen? And that the only way we can this not to happen, for us to have anything to do about it, would be to have this kind of a program, and who wants to have it happen? Is there enough support for it in town to make it happen?
Right, and the strings that are involved are what can the money be spent on?
Right.
Historical preservation, open space, recreational. So,
now does that include like this forgotten cemetery that we supposedly may be able to find this spring?
I would think it's part of historical preservation.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly, but it's absolutely within the realm of it would, I think. I don't know all the exact stuff for historical preservation.
Yeah, because this goes in deeper too, because like Steve had said at the last meeting, if there are 4 grave sites there, there's potentially probably 10.
Mhm.
There could be 10 there. And that would involve some type of more in-depth, whether it's ground penetrating radar or
Right.
all the other stuff I see on TV to take a look and see, you know,
Yeah.
what's on the ground. I mean, you know, people don't come out and do that for nothing. So unless there's fun, you know, to do that,
Right.
definitely. I mean, I think we should look into it and see exactly what they cover and what the benefit to Bellingham could be,
I mean, I
Mhm.
think if
because
it
that's
is
going to be the fight on the town floor.
right, if it's for historic preservation, open space, and what was the third thing?
Recreational,
Recreation, then maybe we ought to, you know, there should be someone from the Parks Department that isn't, you know what I mean? It should be a coordinated effort among the people that are gonna benefit to make the presentation and not just us.
the Conservation Commission as well.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
Can you let me in on my laptop? Would that be okay?
Oh, yeah, sure, sorry, didn't see you there. You were already there, so I wasn't looking for anybody.
Recording in progress.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, that's, your other one's there. Middle. There you go, he's off the other one.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
you know,
He's
I would
muted.
love to see it,
Oh.
but I understand I'm biased in that, so.
But I think
Well-
it's more than just us. I think we need a coordinated effort of a group of
Mhm.
people that really want to do this, that
Yeah.
that are committed to it, because it can't happen with just,
Yeah, and the thing is in order to get the coordinated effort and people on the thing, we gotta let them know what's going on. I mean, what it's all about, because they're not gonna go for it
I mean,
if
I
they
don't
don't
know.
know what the
I don't
benefit to the town
I
would
don't know. Conservation Commission, I think Michael O'Haran is still on conservation.
Mm.
I don't know, I don't know anybody in parks that I know of.
Oh, it's Bill Roberts, but
Oh.
I think he's been kind of a one-man show. I don't
Is
really know.
Is he the
Who else?
employer, or is he on the appointed? the
You know, I
commission?
don't really know.
only-
It's kind of been, you had to check with him for
Yeah.
anything with parks, and I've never understood what that's all about.
Let me see, hang on, once I get the.
He can be kind of prickly. But this is recorded, so we won't say anymore.
You're assuming people watch our recordings, Marjorie.
It's public record.
I know it is, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so departments. Departments is. So we were
Cliff
talking,
Matthews
we
would
were
be,
talking.
Cliff and Ann
Parks
Matthews.
And so Parks Department is, so, okay, so Bill Roberts is the chairperson, Doug Mangini. I don't know who that is. Oh, he's the Parks Commissioner. So there's two people that are listed as board members of Parks. And then the other one was, you said Conservation?
Yeah, Cliff and Ann Matthews,
Let's see.
and they could direct you to any other people.
Should
I'm curious, Steve, where you've gotten the negative stuff about the CPA, because it's honestly, I haven't heard those negative arguments, so I'm be glad to understand the other side of things.
What did I say that was negative other than it was raising taxes? I mean, that's enough for me, but I didn't cite anything specifically. And also that it's when there's federal money involved, there'll be constraints.
I don't understand what federal money is involved. It's really state money.
Oh, well, that's that. I'm sorry. I said I meant state, but I mean, the bottom line was that it's not just a fund that Bellingham has access to and can use as it pleases.
Yeah.
You know, there will be strings attached to it if it's
Sure.
from another entity of any sort, whether it's federal or state. It is immaterial for that argument.
Yeah,
It
it's
also-
it's just that.
designated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, there's probably reporting requirements, there's probably a lot of things you have to do with it that someone needs to do the work for. So that's the,
That's the committee.
Yeah,
That would be
right.
the committee that runs it. Yeah.
so I think.
I know a bunch of people who are on other committees in other towns.
Mhm.
So, I'm really pretty familiar with the good that it's done. And I understand that people don't want to raise taxes. And it's all for our use, so it's
I
not
think,
just.
Margaret, if you could do some, just for edification, like
Mhm.
talk to people about what specific projects that they funded with this stuff. So we have
Sure.
some real, some real,
And if we have to reach out to get a committee,
Mhm.
how did they do that? you know, how they reach out to
Yep.
get a
Who
committee.
started that? Was the committee started with the historical commissions, or who started their committee? You know, it's probably, I'm gonna bet it's maybe conservation people that. I don't know.
No, it, to
No?
me, yeah, let's see. I think in Upton, it was the Historical Commission.
Okay.
And in Norfolk, it was more people within the, actually selectmen and probably open space committee, which I don't think we have an open space committee. So,
Well, we won't in 2 years, that's for sure. We won't need it because we won't have any open space left
well, yeah, that too.
from the way it looks.
I think if you can even just make a couple, really make a couple calls and get some examples of what people have done. I think that would be,
Yep.
I
you
mean,
know,
basically, how do you start, you know? Where did
Right,
they
and,
start?
right.
and there, I can check with the people in Franklin as well.
How do you start, and what kind of things are funded? Because I think that's what people, you know, the public doesn't care how it gets started, they care what they're gonna get out of it, you know, are you gonna get,
Yeah,
Are they gonna
Yeah.
get a bridge over to the island at Silver Lake? I don't know.
I don't know whether the town wants that.
I don't think they do either.
I don't
but-
think so.
Yeah.
Since the town owns it now and not
Yeah,
a person like Leo did.
unless it came with like a guardhouse or something.
It's a lot of vandalism. It's
Yeah.
had a lot of vandalism and one fire on the island at one point.
Well,
That
they
was
also,
exciting.
they also drove a vehicle over the bridge too.
Really?
Yes, that's, they had to put the cement posts at both ends of the bridge because if it was wide enough for a car to drive over.
Yep.
So, you know what I say? If you leave it there, somebody will try it. And
Yep.
that's what
All right.
happened.
Well, yes, I would be
Okay.
happy to look into that, bring stuff back
Yeah.
next month. And we really shouldn't take the whole meeting to talk about that. Sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah. No, that's okay. Guess renovation update. You want to? We're still waiting to get the air conditioner connected. I mean,
So-
whether he changes the service or not, I really don't care. But I just can't seem to get him to come there.
I haven't seen Gary. I'll next time I'm at town hall, I'll stop and talk to Dennis and say, can you light a fire under him? Because
Well, either that, or, hire
or give us the
somebody.
authority to pay someone else to do it, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because we've got, in 2 months, a month and a half, we might need air conditioning in April, by April, you could need it if you get some more hot days, so, and it'd be nice. I mean, if the room ones those room ones didn't really do much there anyway, but the room ones are gone, so we have no air conditioning without fixing that, so.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him. Just as far as the budget, we have $4,300 still in our account that we need to spend by June or lose, so we need if there are things that we need to get, let's talk about them this month or next month. I've been
How about a
buying.
portable air conditioner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to open a window. I don't want to open a window and put an air conditioner in it.
Yeah.
Have the windows visible so we can see out the beautiful windows. I know there are some things but I'm buying the supplies as we need them, and I don't know, as I ramp up and try to get more, I might know more what we need. I haven't bought the display case yet because I don't know yet that we're gonna have space for it, which we had budgeted money for that.
Mannequins,
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
mannequins.
Mannequins, yeah, that was on the list, which we have to see what we need, right? Yeah, we could just get new ones. We could just vote right off the top to get new ones as opposed to, because nothing we have there matches. So
What would it cost to hire an electrician if
Well,
we
that's-
can't get this guy? Don't we have, I
we
don't,
have to pay Gary, and, well, no, we probably don't have to, if we get it done by the town, we probably don't have to pay Gary, because the town has a building and maintenance fund for that building. So if we hire him on our own, we'd have to pay for it, which, if we've got the money.
if we're looking to spend the money, and it also kind of makes him look not so good, which is
Yeah.
okay if he has been unresponsive.
And it's weird, because I called him for a library project and he was here a week later and did it. I don't know what the deal is, I think he sees we're closed and he doesn't see it as a priority, because no one's there, so, yeah, getting matching mannequins for the military uniforms might be a great idea. Getting some, ones that really look nice since we have the money. I guess, how many we talked to, because I don't know, Steve, could you go through the list of the things that you thought were worthy of display and let me know how many there are. And then,
I can try to do that. I've been a little overwhelmed with my daughter's wedding, so I know it's got nothing to do with town business, but
Oh,
it's
no.
keeping me
When-
busier than I thought.
when is that wedding? Because that'll free up. When will that be?
April 24th.
Oh, late, okay.
Wasn't your son quite injured as well, Steve?
Yeah, so he's recovering very, very nicely, so that's good. But again, that kept me
Sure.
in Nevada for a little while.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you could even just look at the list and give me a count of how many you think we'll need. So we can get started, do we like one World War II, one World War I, whatever, based on the uniforms that we have. Let me know how many you think we should,
We could even replace the mannequins we got now because they're not that great.
Well, that's what we're gonna do, get brand new
Yeah.
ones, but I need
Yeah.
to know how many to buy. And I don't know how many, I think, when I'm looking at the spacing there, we probably can, if we're gonna do full, because I think the idea was to make a divider with the, to that section with the mannequins, so like 4 or 5 of them we probably could fit. And they would be full, not just tabletop ones, like full body ones to make a wall out of the full body mannequins. So I think we fit 4 or 5. Do you think we have 4 or 5 things that are worthy of display?
absolutely, we do.
Okay, so maybe I'll just buy 5. Buy 5 mannequins, then we can explain.
Well, is there any chance of getting a couple dress forms too? Because I haven't been able to find it, but we have a dress. We have 2 dresses from Alice Burr.
Yeah, we have the little girl one in the basement. I know
Right.
what that is.
There's one that's listed in the inventory. It's from 1880. We have one from 1833 and one from 1880. So she's almost 50 there. And I thought
Okay.
that would be so cool to show the 2 of them together. And we have a
Okay.
little bit of information about the Burr family too.
Okay, so two dress, like one is a child's and one's an adult, or are they both?
Yeah.
One is for that little girl dress?
Yeah, it's when she got older, there was a dress from 1880 when she was like almost 50.
Right, but
Oh
the
my
little one is
goodness.
just, it's like a toddler dress. Is that the one? You're
Yes, it
talking
is.
about? Yeah,
Yep.
okay. So one for a toddler and one for an adult, dress forms. Toddler and adult. I'll look for the dress, see if I can find it before I order this, so I have an idea of, I don't know if they come in sizes or if you just pin the dress. I have no idea how that works. And that's
Some of the dress forms are adjustable. You
Okay.
can get ones that are adjustable. They don't show that, you know what I mean? When the pieces that move don't show
Yeah.
when
Right,
the
once
dress
the
is
dress
on
is
it.
up. Okay, now that you say it, that makes sense. And the same thing with the mannequins, I assume probably better to buy adjustable size ones if we can.
I haven't seen that before, but
Okay, okay.
I mean, whatever you can find, you know.
What I will do, if we get, I don't know, let me just get on Amazon quick and see, because I know there was some there, see what an idea of the cost is. So we can actually approve a dollar amount.
Mhm.
And then I can just send
What's the
out.
difference between dress forms and mannequins? It's just male and
Let
female?
me share my screen.
Well, a dress form is it's shaped like a female. It has a narrow waist, but it's
Okay,
it's a little bit more abstract of the human form. There's no arms. It's designed for a tailor to work on it, but that's sort of the typical thing. If you go into museums, usually women's clothing will be depicted on a assuming that it's traditional women's clothing like a dress or a
Mhm.
skirt, it'll be depicted on a dress form.
Anywhere. Hang on.
oh, thank you.
I
I
appear to be
never
locked
really
up.
thought of it.
Hang on, looks like you guys can still hear me, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, my computer itself is kind of locked, so I can't scroll down here. Are you seeing the screen?
No,
It
it's
just says, no, it says
Yeah.
you're starting it.
Okay.
says starting screen
Let
sharing.
me close some windows here. I'm gonna stop sharing. Hang on, and I'll redo it.
You can actually take a look at some of this stuff. I've been cheating and going over to the Historical Society in Franklin, and they have some mannequins for the military stuff, and they have dress forms for some ladies' dresses. They actually have a whole section right now. I think it's a temporary display of wedding dresses, which is pretty neat.
I'm locked up here. So I can, can you hear me still?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm just gonna let this go until it clears up because I'm kind of locked up. It's not letting me stop sharing. So I guess what I can do is,
Oh, we've lost you, Bernadette. Oh, dear.
Yep, we lost you entirely.
Well,
Oh,
He's gone to another dimension.
I know.
Yeah.
I can text her and let her know, but she probably knows.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, there you
Oh,
are.
it's,
You're
Yep,
back.
there you are.
It won't let me stop sharing and it won't let me do anything. So, so did you hear my proposal?
I
Not
know.
that I know of.
Okay, so the proposal was that we approve up to $2,000 for mannequins. And I'll send out an email.
Okay, you propose, all right, we got a motion.
I'll second, or do we need a motion or a second?
Well, she's making the motion, I guess. Bernadette's making the motion for that.
Then I can second it.
All right. Motion made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Looks like that's unanimous from what I can see, which is a black screen. So,
I'm trying to get out of it.
yeah. So we're good with the 2,000.
Yeah, okay, good.
Mhm.
I'll just update the rest and see what happens here if I can get out of this. Okay, our gift fund also has $3,600. That will carry over to next year, so that's not a problem.
Okay,
The expenses we paid since the last meeting, just $46.07. I bought
Oh, dear.
oh, she's gone again.
Mhm.
Yeah, she bought a PVC desk pad for Clara Macy desk. And $87.60 for a banner.
Oh, right, good.
From Vista Print.
Which I have it right next to me here. It came out wonderful.
Oh, yay.
Came out wonderful.
Yep.
Cool.
I don't know why I'm so locked up here.
Oh, there she is again.
Trying to share, I'm trying to stop sharing and it's not working. Okay, I'm just gonna keep talking because you don't need to see me. So I finished the boot making and transportation history. The wall in the museum has laminated sheets that are like a parchment-y kind of paper that basically the library had a whole ream of it, 500 sheets of it left over from a resume thing we did years ago that we never used them. So they're perfect, they laminate, they look nice, they're off-white, they match the wall. We can attach them with those little poster putty, move them around without ruining the paint. It's really working out, seems to be working pretty well. So I'm moving on to, next thing I want to work on is the sleigh, what's gonna go on the sleigh. As soon as we get the platform, the town carpenter is building a platform for the sleigh. As soon as we get that, I'm gonna contact the woman with the dollhouse. She's gonna bring the dollhouse. The dollhouse is gonna sit on the back of the sleigh. And I figure around it, we can have other like householdy kind of goods that, like type of things that were used in homes. You know, we have like egg mixers and flour bins and that kind of stuff that have some provenance to people who lived in Bellingham. So we can kind of make a nice display on the sleigh. Then the school area is almost done. I have all the stuff stuffed over there. I just gotta do that. The area, like I said, that I'm gonna need help with is the military area, because that's not my thing. Even if it's just Steve, you and I chatting as I move through it to try to figure out what the next steps are, that would be helpful.
Mhm.
By the way, have we I don't know if this is the time or if this is new business. There was talk of us walking in that parade. There was a contact that was, have we replied to that?
I have not replied. If you guys want to do it, I can definitely let Jim know.
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, great. So the parade. So I will let, it's Jim Hastings. I'll let him know that we'll have a small group representing the museum speaking, walking in the parade. So basically you show up at the middle school between around 12:30. Don't get there too early. They say like noon to line up. They do block off the center of town like at noon. So you'll probably want to come from like Maple Street or 140 to get to Blackstone Street, to park at the middle school or park at the library and walk, and then you walk down to the common. At 1 o'clock, it kicks off in the common. I really am hoping that I'm gonna be sitting in that museum that day from noon to 4 with some basic, because I think even if we have some basic displays and we can just get the rest of the stuff out of there, we can do a soft grand opening and let people, and then be open to the public and then work on making things look better as time goes on. And I think that's doable if we can just, we've made a lot of space in the basement by getting rid of a lot of stuff. As soon as we get the, Rick, we were waiting for something to contact DPW to get rid of more stuff. What was the wait for that? Oh, we're waiting for this meeting, I guess. Oh, we have to, yes. We have to talk about the things we're gonna get rid of. That's what we're waiting for.
Yep.
And once we can decide on those things, then we can get the DPW in to get rid of more stuff for us to make more space in the basement.
Do we have a list of suggested things that we're
Yes,
ready to
yeah.
get rid of?
Yep, I have the list in my report, so I'll get there. As I've been doing, I'm gonna send out a email every week, letting you guys know when I'm available to be there, and if anybody can join me, that would be great. I do think if we are able to open, if we don't know by April 15th for sure, we can't get it in the bulletin, but we can probably have, the town is probably gonna do a reverse 911 call for the parade itself. So when they do that, we could have them say, let them know, people know, because people are down there waiting for the parade to come. They're lined up. The parade starts at 1. People are down there waiting for it to come. They could come in the museum, and I figured we could do a ribbon cutting after all of the things at town hall at the common are done. So like 3:30, 4 o'clock, or what, I don't know what time it will be. The parade usually lasts about an hour to probably 45 minutes for them to get downtown, another 45 minutes on the common. So that'll probably be done by 2:30. So we probably could do like a 3 o'clock ribbon cutting. So I did that. So these are the things we need to talk about. There was two very large rusty iron pieces of metal that, Rick, you thought looked like they belonged to an old boiler.
It's what it looked like to me. I could be wrong.
They're not in the inventory. I think they were just something that was dumped there, and it would be nice just to get rid of them.
Yeah, it's right in front of the Mustache sign. If you look on the picture that she sent.
I was gonna try to call up my pictures, but I'm afraid to get locked up again.
Yeah.
So it was they're probably what, 3 feet, 2.5, 3 feet long.
Well, yeah, 3 feet long, 2.5, 3 feet long. Very, very heavy.
Very heavy, rusty iron.
There is a recycling center. Is there anything they can take? I know for copper and.
Well, they will. We're not gonna move it. We're gonna have the DPW guys come and move it. They'll dispose of it wherever they think it needs to go. We're not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's the first thing that we want to. Do we want to vote on these one at a time, getting rid of them, or because I just would like people to be on board that we're getting rid of these.
Because we don't have those. I don't think those are listed on anything
No,
inventory.
they're not on any inventory. They're not on the inventory. I think they were just parts of something that, and there's a lot of things there that look like they were just put in the basement from other buildings in town when things happen.
Yeah.
No
I'm
one-
wondering if it's boiler or something to do with farm equipment, but but it's awful heavy.
Yeah.
That's why I usually the cast iron boilers had a lot of heavy things in them. So I have no idea what they are.
They're like, okay, I'm gonna take a risk and see if I can get the picture up here. Hang on.
I'm guessing we don't have any provenance if nobody really. even
No,
knows
I
what
went
it
through the
is.
inventory and there's
Oh.
nothing that says anything about iron anything. So
Hope you can see that.
There we go.
um,
Yeah, it looks like a radiator.
Almost looks like something like that.
Look, I don't know. Do those things engage with each other?
They look like
if they could, they look like they could.
That's why I think maybe farm
Probably
equipment.
a farm thing. Yeah.
You think you're gonna be farmer? Okay, if you want, do you want to hang on to it just in case we find out something about it?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
No.
It looks farmy, or, there's so many crazy machines they had in the mills around here too. I have no idea, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I
it
mean-
looks like it's for separating something, you know what I mean? Like you pull something in, and if those engage each other, then it was probably for tearing something apart, like separating something probably textile mill, maybe, I don't know,
Yeah.
kind of reaching.
I mean, right now, we could just, there is space behind, we could just hang on to them for a little bit to see if we come up with something that tells us what they are, you know?
Yeah, because they got gears on the other end of it, so
Right.
that's why I kind of agree with Steve. It's, you know, rather than a part of a boiler, you wouldn't have gears on it. It would be like in place, stuck in place. This looks like it was turning,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I'm,
by some type of chain or something like that, or a leather belt. So but I have no idea what
We
it
could
is.
put a picture on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's
say,
actually not a bad
anybody know what
idea.
Yeah, anybody know what this is?
That's a great idea. It's not a bad way to engage either.
right, yeah, yeah.
Do we have a Facebook page?
Oh, we
We
do.
do.
Yep.
Oh,
We do.
well, we could ask
I'm gonna
everybody
invite
to
you to it,
share it.
Roger, if you're not on it already. Geez, you need to be part of our page. Come on.
I think so. I see what shows up. I've got my hands full.
Yeah, that's
Vivian.
what Rick, I can do that. I'll put that on, so put that one on the Facebook page, say, hey, we came across this. Anyone know what it is? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we'll take care of that one. Okay. The next thing is center school window frames. So there are 3 window frames. I assume they all came from the center school. One of them has an index card saying that it came from the center school. So one is a full circle with like a base on it. The other is a circle and the third one is a triangle. I don't think we can keep all 3 of these. They're big, they're bulky.
I would pick one.
Right, I propose we keep the larger one because I think we can attach it to the bookcase that's above, like near the bathroom. Kind of to get the town carpenter to like screw it in there and maybe have a school desk showing through it because it used to be at the center school. If you could have one of those old school desks kind of showing through it. And then I just propose we discard the half window and the triangle shaped ones because once we're sure the other one fits where we want it to fit. You know, we don't want to get rid of it until we're sure the big one works.
I guess my own sense would be I would tend to the small one just because of the premium one space.
But the small one doesn't have the architectural detail that the first one does.
Okay.
The big one does.
Nope.
The big one has kind of cool architectural detail, and I think it'll work. My quick measure had it work. We gotta have the carpenter kind of, and then as soon as we can, you know, we can put him on this as soon as he finishes the next things he's building for us.
I just have a tiny little house and I'm
Yeah.
always saying, don't give me big pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it would look, I think at one of those, it was 44 inches high, I think, but there's a big open space. And I think if we put it in the right spot, we could have one of those school desks behind it. And it would kind of say center school desk and the center school window, like you're looking in the window at the old desk.
That sounds lovely.
Okay. So
Do we have a motion to get rid of the other 2 windows or you said something about?
I think we should get rid of the triangle one no matter what. It's ugly. The small.
Well, doesn't look like it's that old either.
Yeah.
I don't, you know.
Yeah, there's nothing saying they were all from the center school. That one definitely says it. That one had an index card, like, I think it was really like push pin into it saying it came from the center school. So we know the provenance of that one.
I would say get rid of the other 2 and figure out where we can put the one that we know where it's from.
I don't think we really need a vote on that. We just have to agree on
Okay,
it.
but I just wanted to agree. Yeah, let's agree on these things.
Hmm.
Okay, the Moss Deck hardware sign. It's 6 feet by 3 feet, metal, not in the inventory. We could never display it upstairs, but I could see, if we want to keep it, that once we clean out space downstairs, it could go like up on one of the walls near where the bookcase is. Like if you're in the left-hand room downstairs, the back wall, which would actually be the front of the building. So you'd walk down the stairs and it would be on the right-hand side. It would fit, I think it would fit there. And something, you know, down the road, we might have clean enough stuff out that we have space to make display space down there. So it could look kind of cool just as a backdrop.
Yeah, because that building is a parking lot right now for Hilltop Farms on Pulaski Boulevard, because that's where it was.
Oh, okay.
If you look where Hilltop, just to the left of Hilltop, it's got a widened parking lot. Well, Hilltop bought Mustangs when they closed and tore the building down and just kept the parking spot.
Are you talking about down near Grumpy's?
Yep.
That stretch? Okay.
That's where Mustang Hardware was, right on
Oh,
the
okay.
right on the side of Hilltop, but closer to the road.
I mean, we don't even have a Marg Lochner's sign. Like we have a Marg Lochner's, we have a lamp from Marg Lochner's. We have some stuff from Marg Lochner's. But we, so what is this, I don't know, I'm just thinking like, is this a big enough history bell? I don't know, because I wasn't here when they were here. So I don't know how big Mostec Hardware was at the time and how.
Well,
like,
that was in South Bellingham, they were the thing.
Yeah, they were,
They
okay.
didn't so much North Bellingham because they went to Medway.
Okay.
Right.
Was it a
You know,
family, was it a family run? Was family runs hardware store?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
Walter Mustak ran that, and
okay.
if you look, everybody that he was kind of like the place to go. He was like the Rocky's Ace Hardware of South Bellingham, and he used to always give you a discount, and it was so funny because you'd go in there and he'd run the price on his calculator, and then he says, with your discount, saying with a discount. I was just a little kid, like 10 years old. He's giving me a discount.
I think it's worth hanging on to. Right now, it's kind of a bit out of the way. I think it will eventually get up against that wall. I think it's worth hanging on to.
Yeah, everybody loved him. Everybody loved the guy.
It's too bad we don't have a Marg Lochner sign. That would be neat.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it would be.
Well, we got pictures of the one that's down at the restaurant in Woonsocket. That, yeah, we didn't.
That was yeah. And I don't know if that was an original sign they moved from the restaurant there, or if it's a replica. I don't know.
It was.
Yeah,
They had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I wonder if the family, I don't know if there's any Glockners left in Bellingham,
Oh,
because Richard
boy.
Glockner lived right next door to Mark Glockner's.
Right.
But I don't know if there's any Glockners left that may have like
There-
an old menu.
Well,
or
Gladys was across the street, but
I think we might have a menu somewhere. That sounds familiar. But what we have is one of the, like, it's a, for lack of a better word, a Tiffany lamp, like a lamp
Yeah.
that obviously hung over one of the tables. It's not, by no means is it Tiffany. It's like a plastic colored lamp that is very dusty. And the decision is, do we clean it up or do we let it sit like it looked when it was in Marg Lochner's?
I would think we would want to clean it
Yeah,
up.
yeah. But I think that could be hung over, hung from a hook somewhere and displayed.
But what kind of a menu would be when all you said was how many? You never said what until the very modern people. I mean, it was always just how many dinners did you want? They didn't need a menu.
I only ate there once, and I think there was a menu when I was there because it was later.
That was much later.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want the cinnamon buns or don't you?
Yeah.
Not the same.
Yes, I want the cinnamon buns.
That
Sometimes
was
That's
it.
a dumb question.
just go for the cinnamon buns. Say the hell with the chicken. Give me the cinnamon buns.
Yes.
Oh, no, that was before I ever moved to Bellingham. Somebody was talking about, oh, yeah, you just tell them how many, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we definitely have some Marg Lochner's papers or paraphernalia of some sort. I don't remember what it was, but I know we do have it somewhere.
Mhm.
That's good.
Okay, the next thing is historical, but it's a mess. It's a home woven bedspread woven by Lucy Cutler Estes. It has holes, it's stained. I just don't see us keeping the whole thing because it's not in great shape. But I was thinking maybe we could try to find some seamstress in town who could find a good portion of it to, cut and sew a trim around, and then we could do something with a portion of it.
I
How
would
old
say
is it?
just to frame some.
Well, I don't know how old it is, but she died in 1888 at the age of 85.
Oh,
So it's really old.
We want to take a portion of it and
So what
put
the-
it into a glass frame. That would
Right.
be an
The other
idea.
thing I thought is we could put a portion of it, like maybe use it for if the right size was right, to put it on a shelf as yeah.
That-
So what the card says is home woven bedspread woven by Lucy Butler Estes, my grandmother. It doesn't say who donated this, whoever this granddaughter is. Intend to put this cloth back of worn parts and sew the edges to it. So she never finished it, obviously.
Mm.
It is kind of cool, but it's got, I don't know if they're mothball holes, or it's just got, and they're random holes. You pull the thing out, there's holes all the way through it. So I don't see that.
Is it the backing or the
No,
top?
it's not backing. It's just one layer. There's no two layers. It's a
But I
woven-
mean, is it color or is it just what you put on the backing of a?
it's I don't know if that is not showing either. It is
Yeah.
woven tan color like thread or whatever that, or fabric. It almost looks like a Berber carpet, kind of, but a thinner thing. It's very.
I don't know if this thing will focus on it.
Probably. It's probably linen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, you're right. It could be, but it's
Hmm.
really. I mean, that one right, that big. I don't know if you can see the big. That's one of the holes in it, right there. You know.
Is
But
it-
if it's hand woven too, it might be just nice to cut out a relatively small section and pull some of the horizontal out of it, so you can
Right.
see,
See.
how it's
Yeah.
woven and say,
Oh,
this
yeah.
is woven by somebody.
Yeah, I don't think we get rid of it. I think we should do something with it to preserve
Mhm.
and it's not in the inventory, so it was never
Mm.
formally accepted. I think someone just dropped, but it's old. She died in,
Yeah.
I just Googled her name to see if I could figure out who she was, and she died in 1888 at 85. So if she, unless she was weaving into her 80s, this is probably like Civil War era, weaving.
Mhm. Well,
I don't
most
think-
fabrics don't survive, and so that even that, if we have some provenance that's even, that we can say who it's from,
Right.
that's a value. Usually fabrics are
And I
never
think-
saved.
I was able to find her obituary, and it mentioned who her grandchildren were, but it didn't have any, I don't know, she had multiple granddaughter. I assume it would be it looks like female writing, just to be, so it looks, but it doesn't say who the grandmother, which grandchild donated it. There's like HBAW, I don't know what that means in parentheses under it. I mean, potentially there could be an heir, maybe still a grand, if someone was born in the 1880s, could their grandchild still be around?
No,
No?
I wouldn't think so.
No, I keep thinking it's like 1990, it's 2022. In my head, we're not in the new millennium, 19, yeah.
Yeah, if her parents had her when she was 40, she'd be like close to 100.
Yeah, right, yeah. But I don't know if there's any color or SD family members still in town. That's another, so if we can find something up, but I think we ought to keep it and we ought to try to do something. Right now, I'll just keep it in the box. It may not be a top priority to do something with it right away, but I think it's something that we should keep and do something with.
Any kind of fabric should be kept in a dark place, rolled, not folded, and like into a pillowcase,
Mhm.
just so that it doesn't get any more
Well, it
damage
was in
than
a
it already
cardboard
is.
box. It was in a cardboard box that looked about 40 years old.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
just saying that for
yeah.
preserving fabric,
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do with quilts and other such, is don't ever fold them because it stresses the fabric more.
So speaking of quilts, so we're gonna hang on to this. Speaking of quilts, we do have 2 quilts. We don't have enough space to display them in their entirety. One of them we have a very good history of. It was made by the women of the First Baptist Church in the early 1900s. Its center panels have the Baptist Church, the Town Hall, the Civil War Monument, and the Center School. And those 4 things are each a foot wide, so just showing those 4 would be a 2 foot by 2 foot. You just said not to fold it. I was thinking of folding it so those things would be visible. And then maybe putting it in some kind of a shadow box
Mhm.
case or something, so we could display the center of it, take a full picture. We were talking about laying it out, taking a full picture so we could see the whole thing, and
Mhm.
putting a full picture of it next to a portion of it on display.
That sounds fine. It's mostly for storage that you don't want to fold things, but if that's how you decide to display it,
Right.
that's all we're really going to display with a picture. That sounds fine. That sort of covers all the bases.
That's another over 100-year-old handmade quilt that actually has building. So I'm gonna try to find a display case, and then I think it should be protected from the sun, have it not facing
Right.
the window so it
Right.
stays. I mean, those were hanging, both of those quilts were just hanging on the right-hand wall when you walk in the museum, like exposed to everything. But that one is in surprisingly good shape. The other one is actually in better shape, but I don't know, it doesn't really have anything in it. It has people's names on it. It looks newer, but has some references in embroidery to the 1800s. Does anyone know who a Pam Michelet is?
Say it again.
Pam Michelet, Mclett. There's a whole bunch of stuff that she donated to the museum, and this quilt was one of them.
Yeah.
At this point, I
The
think.
date on those X's, there are names and like little stories
Right.
that are attached to them. And I think one of them had a date, what was it, 1890?
They were 18, some of them at 1800s, but it doesn't really
Yeah, it was-
look that old. So I don't know if they could just be putting like the age of the person that they were talking, you know what I mean? It could have been a retrospective kind of thing where this is my grandmother and she was, I don't know. And I would have to find out more about that. So what I would think, if we buy one quilt case, maybe we could rotate these two quilts out on display over time. And then
Mhm.
we can roll the other one and put it in a pillowcase at Marjorie's suggestion.
We have a family quilt that is about that time from late 1870s.
And we might come across some more detail about the X. It was in the inventory as X quilt. And it has people's names on it in an X pattern, but there's no date of when it was donated or just this name Pam McLett, which means I might ask Dennis if he knows anything about who this Pam McLett is. If it's prior to his, being in town, then we're gonna have a hard time finding someone who knows who she is.
We could throw that out on the Facebook page too.
We could, what?
Good idea.
Does anybody know a Pam McLett?
Oh, okay.
Does anybody know a Pam McLett in
Let
Bellingham?
me look first to see if any of the other stuff she had donated has a date on it. Because then I'll have an idea of when she was around. Because some of the other things might, I don't know, some things have dates of donation dates, many of them don't. So if they don't have detail, I don't know. And then we do have actually a book that I have to look, because I keep forgetting, there is a binder that has some of these inventory items handwritten what the donation was. So I have to go back and look through those too to see if I can find out any information. I'm just trying to kind of go through as much stuff as I can as quickly as I can to get a museum like a displays done. But I think just having one that we display and the other one that we have a backup, we could swap them out is a good idea at this point. Okay, that's all the stuff to discuss. Greenfield Commons is going to be on the opening of the museum and all the wonderful things. The top 10 things are our best displays. It's just going to be talking about the history of those things. I think that'll make it a really simple issue to do. Right now, the things I have for that display case are the Boston Post cane, that quilt, the Assumption Church match diorama, and some books and papers. And I need to go back through your inventory, Steve. Oh, I know there was also some amethysts that were found on Rose Ave Extension, like actual stones that I found those. So those are ready to go in there too. I need to find some way to display those to make them look nice. So I'll look.
They had a mine there at the end of
Yeah.
Rose.
Yeah.
Well, do you know that I think it was amethyst. I went to the Natural History Museum back in like the 1990s, on the National Mall,
Mhm.
and Bellingham was on the map as like one of the world's largest sources for amethyst or something.
Oh, really?
At one point, I think it was amethyst.
Mhm.
There was a mine.
That would be cool. I'll look at that because that would be cool to include in the description or just some kind of a, not only.
I was shocked. I saw the map and it said Bellingham. I'm like,
Yeah.
Bellingham?
Yeah, right at the end of Rose Ave there at before Pete's
Is
off
it-
of 140. Go down to the end of the road where it dead ends. And if you walk in there, that's where the mine was.
It basically was a
Really?
little box
Yeah.
about this big that had probably 5 or 6, not very big amethysts in it, but I think we could do something nice to display those in the display case too, that people don't, there are gems in Bellingham, actual gems, or were.
Well, yeah, that were in the ground. We
Yeah.
got gems in Bellingham for sure. But that's for another day.
And then as far as the donations, we haven't got any new people wanting to give us anything. I did it. So Diane Solpak sent me an email about a week ago saying, hey, when can I drop off that dollhouse? And I said, hey, as soon as the platform is being built as we speak, and as soon as it's built, we'll talk about
They're gonna stain it.
Yeah.
He took the measurements the other day and he's gonna cut the piece, and he wants to stain it antique looking.
Yeah.
So that when he mounts it on the sleigh, it
matches.
won't move and you can put the dollhouse right on it. So nobody can push it off or anything. It'll be secure.
You can take some tire chains and whack it like the flooring that people have
Yeah.
to distress.
Give it the distress look.
And then the Teresa Damaris and artist did drop off the cobbler's table, which I showed you in that picture that I did as part of the boot making display. So that's on display. Helen Whiting did drop off the medical kit and the V letter email, so I have those. The medical stuff, I don't know where we're gonna put the medical things, but the V mail letters will obviously go in the, you know, with the military area, so, or it could go, if they think they're cool, some of these could go in the main display case too. So no action is needed on those, we have them, the donation has been made and accepted, so
Great.
that's all I have.
That's all you have on that. And we already have the budget update. You already presented that.
Yeah.
New business. Does anybody have any new business to bring up?
Already talked about the CPA. I put on my calendar to do some research and bring to you all next month.
Yeah, you know, like you say, find out how they did it and get what committees did they have to get. Because I just can't see one or two people being able to.
No,
put
it's
something like-
typically a committee of about 6 people. I think there's I don't know if it's a required structure, but I can find out.
And
That's what I.
And also, if it's gonna be voted at town meeting, then you have to, you know, we have to make a presentation that you have to, whoever this is has to get, you know, it would have finance committee implications. So you have the finance committee to vote
Right.
that they want to, you know, that they think is worth doing. So it's a lot of steps. I don't think it's even a 1-year process. It's probably a multi-year process to get it.
I think so. Yeah.
But we got to start somewhere, right? So
Yeah.
We're leaving money on the table for other towns to benefit from that we aren't getting. And, you know, yes, it would take some sacrifice for us, and the benefits would all stay here right in
I
town.
think it would be good to know, you know, if it's 1%, what is the cost to the average taxpayer? That's always what people want to know, you know, what the average home.
And I'm not sure what that 1% goes against, and I'll find out about it.
Right.
Yeah. And
You
if
know
we
what-
increase our population in the next 2 years by 2,800 people, like they're predicting, there's more money in the till then.
More services required
Depends
as
how many
well.
kids those people have as to what they cost us.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because that's, you know, if you have too many, that could be a negative, you know, you can get $4,000 in taxes and have to spend $8,000 to educate them, so.
Right.
Yep.
There's a lot of trade-offs.
Yep. Oh, there's going to be a lot of things coming up. Some we don't like, I'm sure. But
So I just posted those gears.
oh, you did?
Okay, good.
Cool.
I did.
Let's see what we find out.
Yeah. See if we can find out what it is.
Mhm.
There's probably some mechanical people somewhere that might have an idea of what it is, yeah.
Yeah, or farming people, if it's got something to do with farming, you know. But really, other than that, if nobody's got anything else, I don't know of anything else to bring up right now, other than that we're on a good track. I'm really happy with the progress we're making in the museum. You know, and I can see that it's not going to be a problem for us to at least have a soft opening for Memorial Day, have something to show, because we got everything connected, the computer, the laminating machine, the printer. You know, we're in pretty good shape in that
Just
respect.
the air conditioning.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, well, yes, yeah.
So what are we gonna do to spend that other $2,000 that it sounds like we have left?
Well, I might
gonna buy
be
food
it
for
over
the
the next few
Memorial
months
Day.
just to buy things that we need. I think we look at, you know, we can look at the end, we have till June 30th to spend it. So we can buy stuff that we know we're gonna need for next year, even though we don't use it next year, you know what I mean? So I think we keep an eye, I'll be buying, and like I've been doing, I've been buying stuff I need to make the, you know, the display process possible. So as I've just been buying, you know, small supplies here and there as we need them. But I
Have we
think-
already bought the display cases? that
No,
you
I
were
did
talking
not buy,
about?
I didn't buy the display case because right now I don't know that we have space to put them. When you put the sleigh in there, and we have one other display case, I don't know that we're gonna need another display case. So
Okay.
when we put the sleigh back in saw how much space it really took up, it's a lot, but it really looks cool. So I think it's worth having there. And then like the school area, we have the Clara Macy's desk. We're gonna have the bell. We're gonna have the street marker, the what do you call it, the Boston marker there.
Mhm.
We have the bench, that was the 10-foot bench from the old town hall is in the school area now, which that we were planning on putting above, but it doesn't fit. So, and that's, you know, a 300-year-old bench, it needs to be on display.
Mhm.
We can put little things on it so people don't sit on it.
But we should, you know, I don't know how it's gonna go, but I mean, when we do have the soft opening, we should have some gimmies for the people to, you know, a little
Okay.
something for them to take. We found this
Yes, those, yeah,
downstairs.
yeah.
I don't, let's
They
see
can-
if I can
So
even
the
get the,
250th anniversary coins, there are over 200 of them that are sitting in the basement.
Yep.
So I was thinking maybe it could be either a fundraiser that day, we could sell them for $5, or we could just give them to people that show up. They're
Mhm.
sitting in the basement doing nothing, you know?
I was figuring that, you know, if we had only like 125 of them and got $5,
Yeah.
$5 a piece, we'd have like another 600 and some odd dollars in the,
Yeah.
you know, ask for a donation
I just
basically.
did a
of that,
suggested donation that day.
but they're all in the gift box and everything. I know that's
Nice.
And
blurry.
they're in pretty good shape. The gift stacks don't look too worn and too old, you know, they're, yeah.
They got a little they, you know, and it's got a little thing in there describing what they are.
Yeah.
You know, the paper may be a little yellow, but it, you know, hey, it's 1969.
Yeah.
You know,
Getting old.
Yeah.
getting old. So,
Sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, those I just found on the top shelf, over 100 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it because it was 50 in each box or 100 in each box?
I think there was 50 in each
50
box. I
in
think
each
you
box.
said there was,
There was
we
two
figured
full
there was about
boxes. Yeah.
125, 130 of them.
Yeah, two full boxes and one half box. So that could be, I think that'll be a nice little trinket. We have pencils to give, like we could give away the pencils and then try to make some money selling those. Suggested donation, you know, just put a box and put them there and let people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about is if we do a ribbon cutting that day, who do we want to have cut the ribbon? Because we should have, and we don't have to talk, we can think about it, you know, we don't have to do it now because it's only April next month. That would still be a month out to invite someone to do it.
Governor Richard Bellingham,
Governor, yeah.
right? I don't know.
Like, I don't know if,
Hey,
you know,
do you have any in your group that, you know, reenactors or something like that? I
someone
mean,
could dress like Governor
I don't-
Bellingham.
you know, we're a historical museum. To me, I would like to see a reenactors,
Mhm.
you know, that are in full regalia or something like that, just sort of
Oh, we
to
could,
bring attention.
we could
I
hire.
plan to carry the banner in kit. We're gonna have one of us doing Rev War, one of us doing World War II.
We could hire Deborah Sampson. We know a woman that does Deborah Sampson.
Well, that's true. Yeah, Janet Parnes. Sure.
Yeah, the other idea was to maybe get family members of like past chairs of the historical commission, like someone from Marcia Crooks's family, someone from Ernie Taft's family, someone, you know, that might be a nice gesture too. To have a couple of people from, I don't know, Florida, but we could find out. I know Ernie's sister is still around.
Yeah,
You know, Marcia's relatives that live on the
they
Cape.
live on a cape.
But they might want, if they, you know, we invite them,
Yeah.
you know? So that might be a nice thing to do.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we can talk about it next month in April and, you know, get
That'll
that
be-
down. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be in May, so.
Right, it's
Give it-
near the end of, it's May 20, what's the day of that, 20?
Yeah, we could,
We,
we
May
could,
yeah.
22nd. It's May 22nd,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's near the end, so it'll be more than a month after next month's meeting, that's plenty of time to get the invite out to someone. And
You
then
can
we'll
have,
know-
you can have multiple people cut a ribbon.
Right,
You
yeah,
don't have
yeah.
to have just one person.
Yeah, we can have, one, if you had three, you have one person do the scissors and the other two stand with them, and right, yeah. So I think back to find the families of these people that were involved for many years and give them a little, you know, I think that's probably a better idea than, not that I'm against someone dressed up in a costume, but I think we're relating it to, and then you're gonna guarantee people are gonna come to the grand opening.
Anybody that's local that's made a big donation possibly.
Yeah,
They get
I
skin in
wanted
the
to
game.
invite I definitely wanted to invite the donors, yeah, all the donors, and we should acknowledge the donors that day too, but yeah, definitely invite all the people that are on, because I have a list of anyone that donated 100 or more is on a plaque, it's not a plaque, it's just a framed certificate that's gonna be near the entry with the names, of people that have donated since we started fundraising. I mean, Dan Ranieri gave us $1,000, that was our big That was our big donation. But there's a couple of 250s and, you know, so yeah, we ought to invite all those people that made the donation and acknowledge them that day, absolutely.
Mhm.
But
So,
Any chance you get, you have, like an 8-foot section of EMT or something to put that banner on for the parade?
I don't have any,
an 8-foot
Any-
what?
you know, I,
I was just
Could
asking if you had EMT hanging around, you know, being the
Yeah.
type of work that you do.
yeah. Oh, I had some, that's all gone.
Like a pole, you mean, to?
Yeah, it's yeah.
What about that? Hey, what about that thing we found in the basement, Steve, Drake, that had like the spear on the end of it? That big
Oh,
long
pike
pole.
Oh, it's a pike pole, fire pike pole. It's kind of thick. I don't know if it would go through that.
What is it? What, it just has grommets on the,
Oh,
We would need some string or rope or something. It just has grommets.
yeah, so,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, we could just go to Home Depot and buy a dowel. I don't know how long they sell, but you can just go to Home Depot and buy a dowel. Like you
I'm
need-
sorry, say it again.
You can just go to Home Depot and buy a dowel, right? I mean,
I could. Yep.
what's the length of it? 6 feet?
The banner is 6 feet. I figured if we had something that was 8 feet long.
8 foot, okay. You know, I'll have Jim, next time Jim goes to Home Depot, I'll ask him to look and see what they have, because I can put it on the library account and then we can pay for it separately. We can pay for that.
Yeah, it works for me.
An 8-foot dowel. Okay, I'll look for that. That's easy enough. It doesn't have to be that thick, right? Because you're just gonna like
No, it doesn't
Okay.
weigh very much at all.
you'll either zip tie or
Yeah.
ring tie it or something to it. Yeah, okay,
Zip tie it would probably be the best. Yeah.
okay.
So other than that, anybody else got any new business? If
Why
not,
not?
somebody wants to entertain a motion to adjourn. Our next meeting, by the way, is April 11th at 5 PM.
Yeah.
Monday, April 11th at 5.
I'll raise a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
Motion's made and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Ayes have it. I thank you very much, everybody, for taking time to go over this. It was kind of lengthy tonight, but we had a lot of stuff to talk about.
All right.
You can think about, you know, the ribbon cutting and what we're gonna do and who's gonna be there and any other things for our next meeting.
All right,
Thank
Take
you
care.
all.
Good night.
Thank
Night.
you.
All right.
take
Bye.
care.